Katerina Petrova was born in Bulgaria in 1473 into a noble family that valued honor and reputation above all else, including love. As a girl, she always felt out of place, too wild, too curious, too alive for the life they wanted her to live. At 17, she became pregnant by a man she cared for, and in her world it was an unforgivable scandal. The moment her daughter was born, the baby was ripped from her arms before she could even see her face. That loss broke something in her forever. The next day, without mercy, her family exiled her, turning her into a wandering girl alone in a world that had already taken everything from her. She wandered across Europe, surviving on scraps of hope, and eventually made her way to England. There, she reinvented herself, mastering the language and the customs, believing she could finally build a new life. That wasn't until she met Klaus. He was charming, powerful, an ancient and irresistible magnet for a girl desperate for safety. She fell for him, completely unaware that he didn't want her heart. He wanted her blood. Katerina was a Petrova doppelganger, the living key Klaus needed to break a curse and unlock his hybrid nature. The ritual required her death. When she learned the truth, terror took over. She ran, begging to vampires, Trevor and Rose, for help. Trevor helped her, but Rose, afraid of Klaus, locked her inside a room to hand her back to him. Desperate, trapped, realizing she was about to be sacrificed like an animal, Katerina slit her wrists to escape. Rose, acting out of instinct, fed her own blood to heal her, never imagining the girl would use it to transform. But Katerina Petrova had already learned the hardest truth in the world. No one was coming to save her, so she saved herself. She took her life, completed the transition, and rose again not as a helpless human, but as a newborn vampire. And in doing so, she shattered Klaus's centuries-long plan. Klaus's revenge was immediate and cruel. He slaughtered her entire family, wiping out the Petrova name in blood as punishment for her escape. When she returned home and saw what remained of the people who had once rejected her, the last pieces of her human heart shattered. From that day forward, Katerina Petrova died, and Katherine was born cunning, guarded, manipulative, ruthless, a woman who trusted no one and survived by staying 10 steps ahead of her enemies. For the next 5 centuries, she ran. New names, new faces, new lovers, new lives, always moving, always calculating. She seduced powerful men, manipulated nobles, learned languages, faked deaths, built alliances, destroyed rivals, and turned survival into an art form. But running from Klaus was a never-ending game, and she played it better than anyone else. In 1864, she arrived in Mystic Falls, a charming southern belle, a wealthy young woman with a killer smile. Beneath her smiles and laughter was the same old fear. Klaus was still hunting her. She met Stefan and Damon Salvatore, two brothers who fell in love with her in completely different ways. Stefan with innocence and devotion, Damon with passion and obsession. But it was all a game. Katherine fed on the town, compelled the founding families, and planned to use the brothers as shields. Her time there ended when the town's founders discovered the vampires. She was captured and dragged toward the church where the vampires were to be burned. What no one knew was that she already had an escape prepared. With the help of George Lockwood, she faked her death, slipped away, Stefan, and Damon grieve, and then she vanished again. For almost 150 years after that, she stayed in the shadows, watching the Salvatore brothers from a distance, watching Mystic Falls change, watching the supernatural world twist around the existence of another doppelganger, Elena Gilbert. When Katherine learned about Elena, she realized the balance of danger had shifted. A new doppelganger meant new rituals, new threats, and new power struggles. And so she returned in 2009, slipping into Mystic Falls disguised as Elena, and immediately turning everyone's lives upside down, manipulating the brothers again, killing who she needed to kill, and fighting to keep herself alive above all. But power doesn't last forever. When Elena forced the cure for vampirism into Katherine's body, Katherine became what she feared most: human, weak, and mortal. The centuries finally caught up with her. She aged, she suffered, she lost the strength that once made her untouchable. Then, unexpectedly, her daughter, who had spent 500 years searching for return, Nadia Petrova, the baby taken from her arms in 1490, found Katherine, who had believed she had no heart left, discovered she had been wrong. For the first time in centuries, Katherine felt a flicker of the love she thought was long dead. She loved her daughter, fiercely, painfully, with the desperation of someone who had lost too much. But she was dying, and she did what Katherine always did when cornered. She fought. She used magic to take over Elena's body so she could live again, young and powerful. For a short time, she had everything she wanted: youth, beauty, strength. The victory was short-lived. Her deception was exposed, and she was left sick and alone, hated by everyone. Her final moment came in the church in Mystic Falls, the same kind of place where she had nearly died in 1864. Instead, the darkness she had outrun for 5 centuries finally caught up to her, dragging her to hell. Katherine Pierce died as she lived, fighting, unforgettable, and on her own terms. That was the end of Katherine Pierce after 5 centuries of running, manipulating, surviving, and refusing to bow to anyone. She died the way she lived, fighting, stubborn, impossible to forget. Thanks for watching. If you love deep dives into your favorite characters, make sure to subscribe for more.